So Sadhguru, speaking of Chennai and change, all of us here are undergoing one of the biggest changes in our lives because up until now, we haven't really faced a shortage of a basic necessity that is like a water or food or shelter. But now Chennai is facing one of the biggest water crises, I think, in history, where they predict in 10 years the city is going to be dry and there won't be any water left. And the water crisis is something that you have been tackling with Kaveri Calling. So as the youth of this generation and as engineers in particular, how can we fix this problem immediately so that we don't have to wait 10 years for the city to dry up? What can we do to solve it?
Have you seen older Tamil movies or even Hindi movies where village women are carrying big pots on their head and walking water, and the hero comes and sings a song, and she also sings a song, and romance happens, there she danced with the pot on her head. You've seen these things? Well, that is because the actress is carrying an empty pot. But the real woman in the village is carrying a pot which weighs 15 to 20 kilograms on her head. Nobody sings to her, and she cannot even open her mouth. She's shaking like this. Have you seen them? Hello? With 20 kilograms on her head, her neck and her head, everything is shaking with stress. She's not going to sing a song, she's not going to fall in love with anybody on the street. She just wants to take the damn pot and put the water in the house because her children and her husband and her family, whatever, for them. You thought it's romantic when a rural person carries a pot full of water on her head or on his head. But today that you have to carry a pot on your head, it's come, time has come. Now you think it's a crisis. Wonderful to your humanity. Fantastic sense of humanity. I'm glad you're getting the point. Because water distress has been there in rural India for a very long time. I want you to understand this. Only when it comes to urban centers, now we're thinking it's a real crisis. No, most of the population is in rural India. The crisis has always been there, isn't it? In the last 25, 30 years, there's been a serious crisis. Well, now it's come to Chennai, at least now you're at least willing to talk about it, I'm glad. So let me tell you this, what happened. I grew up around river Kaveri. I did not see Kaveri as some kind of a water source. How can I exploit it? How can I do agriculture? How can I build a dam? I didn't think about this. I was there like any other life, like a worm or an insect or a fish, which enjoyed the river for what it is and made a life out of it. My experience of the river was, I was a tiny little life and this was a massive life. I will come and go, but this flows for millions of years and continues to flow. But in the last 25 to 25 years mostly, I've been watching this with great distress, that slowly Kaveri is depleting, not only Kaveri, all rivers across India have depleted around 40%. Rivers like Krishna have depleted over 70%. Narmada has depleted over 65%. Like this, it goes. Especially in the last 7 to 8 years, for some reason, I still don't have a good enough scientific reason for this, but the drop has been very sharp with Kaveri. It is estimated, on an average, most Indian rivers are depleting by 6 to 8% per year. I want you to calculate how many more years for Kaveri. If you do not know this, a river which was perennial for millions of years, in the last, I think 12 or 15 years, nearly 4 to 5.5 months, Kaveri is not touching the ocean. Recently, about 4 or 5 days ago, there was news that somewhere in Tamil Nadu, I don't remember the town, where Kaveri came and people are bowing down, they're doing puja, they're worshipping and welcoming Kaveri because she's coming after 6-7 months, she was dry. This has happened only in the last 12 to 15 years. Now, is it my emotion towards Kaveri? That's not the point, it's your bloody survival. People are this irresponsible, I'm talking about this. Some so-called very responsible persons, they say, no, I'm not using Kaveri water. What are you made of? In Kaveri basin, in the last 10 years, 47,192 farmers have committed suicide in this Kaveri basin, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu. What more do you want, I'm asking? What does it take to wake you up? Where is the humanity, I'm asking? In this country, in the last 15 years, over 300,000, 3 lakh farmers have committed suicide. We've had 4 wars, 3 with Pakistan, 1 with China. In all these 4 wars, on both sides, 300,000 people did not die. They did not. That many numbers did not die, though we think a war is a great disaster. What is it that you need? You want people to hang in front of your home or in your bedroom? Only then you will respond? What is it? So rivers are drying up. For example, I'm telling you, in Bangalore city, when I was into construction industry at that time, I got a contract in the Majestic area. We just went to put some footing, foundation for some building. We had contract only for the footing. Rest of the building was being built by somebody else. We went to put footing, concrete footings. We could not dig beyond 5 feet because water was like full on. We put in each pit, I'm talking about just 5 by 5 pits, in each pit we put those days diesel engines, 10 HP diesel engines. One pit, 2 engines, we could not empty the water. We gave up because we did not know how to put concrete in totally wet conditions like that because it's full of water. Today in Bangalore city, without 1,200 feet, there is not a drop of water in the bore wells. There were over 1,000 lakes in Bangalore, 3 perennial rivers. Nobody knows where the rivers are anymore, it's all built up. Only 83 lakes are left, out of which only 17 lakes have fresh water, rest is just sewage. What's our plan for the future generations? Well, I got a few years, I'm okay. Where are you guys going to live, I'm asking? You planning, I'm sure planning to go to some other country and ruin that one. This guy will come with a bag behind. I'm saying, is this the way to conduct our lives? Is this the way to conduct our lives, I'm asking? This is not about ecological nonsense. This is about our life, isn't it? The way we are conducting our life. So Kaveri, or Kaveri calling as it's called right now, is an effort to revive Kaveri and also relieve farm distress. According to the studies, they are saying 44% depletion in Kaveri. But in my experience of the river, see, they are counting the entire flow of water in 12 months and they're saying it's 44% less. But in my experience, suppose in September or October if you look at the river, in my experience it looks like it's only 25 to 30% of what it was 50 years ago. Because they're also counting the monsoon flows. See, we need to understand this. River, lake, pond, well are not sources of water. They are only destinations for water. The only source of water in this country is monsoon. I want this to sink into the young people because you are going to the cinema, you dressed well, you don't want it to rain. No, learn to walk wet, what's the problem in Chennai, huh? Hello? Because from your kindergarten they told you, rain, rain, go away. Huh? You sang this song when you were very young? They made you without knowing why you sang. That is in London. Rain, rain, go away is in London. Here, media is reporting excessive rains. I want all of you to take off this kind of stupid language. There is no excessive rain ever. Whatever rain comes, we were always able to hold it in this land because we had substantial vegetation. Now, it feels like excess because we need to understand that the nature of how this happens, the cycle, I'm trying to make it very brief, so I may miss a few points. If you have questions, you can ask me. See, there is something called as transpiration. From the top of the tree cover, suppose there is a layer of tree cover, let's say there is a forest. Between the trees and the cloud, there is a transpiration. It's a kind of communication which makes the rain spread out. About 30 years ago in this country, monsoon was spread between an average of 100 to 140 days. Today, the same volume of rain is coming, but it's happening between 40 to 75 days. So usually cloudbursts used to happen in mountainous areas, that is high altitude mountainous areas where there is no vegetation, or in desert areas. But today cloudburst is happening in Chennai, cloudbursting happening in Mumbai, sometimes in Bangalore, not yet so much in Bangalore, but in northern Karnataka, because it is almost a desert already.